So my streaming setup is a little complicated, but let's try to figure that out. First things first, let's go over all of the things that we're going to need to get this streaming setup put together. Our streaming PC is actually an iMac, but don't worry if you don't have a Mac. Everything we're going to be doing only requires Windows to do. Our gaming monitor is just some crappy LG monitor that I had lying around, but we can use any sort of monitor or TV that has an HDMI input. The microphone is an Apex 415B XLR based microphone. Of course, our gameplay is going to be coming from a PlayStation 4. Now this is an original PlayStation 4. The important part here is that it has an optical out. Our mixer is the Behringer Q1202 USB mixer board. Now our capture card is the Hauppauge HD PVR2. This is admittedly a very old capture card by today's standards, but any capture card will work for what we're doing here today. Now here I have the Ori HDS 102 powered HDMI splitter that lets me get past HDCP protection on things like the PlayStation 3. Now this is not mandatory for a PlayStation 4, but I find it helps. Here is the Toslink optical to stereo RCA audio converter that is essential for getting the audio out of the PlayStation 4 and into the mixer board. For this setup we're going to need 3 HDMI cables, 1 optical cable, 2 male RCA to male 1/4 inch jack cables, and an XLR cable. Now that we have everything we need, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is start work on the PlayStation 4. So what we're going to do now is just get behind the PlayStation 4 so we can see the different ports. And then we're going to grab our HDMI cable and plug it right into the back of the PlayStation 4. And then we're going to grab the other end and grab our HDMI splitter and plug the other end of the HDMI cable into the input here, right here, of the HDMI splitter. So now that you can see the HDMI cable going from the PlayStation 4 to the splitter. Now we're going to grab the optical cable here, and we're going to plug it right into the back of the PlayStation 4, right where it's marked. There it is, see? Right there beside the HDMI port. Now we have our optical to RCA adapter. I'm just going to spin it around here so you can see exactly what it has. See, there's the RCA end, that is the out end of it. And if we spin it around here, you'll see where the optical cable goes. So now we just grab the other end of the optical cable and our adapter, and we plug the cable into the adapter. Simple as that. So now as you can see, we have the optical cable from the PlayStation 4 going into the input on the adapter here. So now what we're going to do is grab the USB cable that came with the adapter, and we're going to plug one end of it right into the back of the adapter here. And the other end we're going to plug into the PlayStation 4 itself. Now you don't have to plug it into the PlayStation 4, you can use any kind of phone charger or anything like that, but I like to do it right here, right in the front, so the PlayStation is actually powering the device. So now we have our Hauppauge HD PVR2 here. We're just going to turn it around, and here's all the ports on the back, of course. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to take this HDMI cable that's running into the HDMI splitter. Now we're going to grab the second HDMI cable, and we're going to plug it into any one of the outputs from the splitter, and that's going to go directly into the input on your capture card. So there's the input right there. Perfect. We should actually probably power the HDMI splitter, so we're just going to plug it in there, and of course there's a light, so you know it's on. Now we're going to grab this end of the USB cable that came with our capture card, and we're going to plug it into the back of the capture card there. And we're just going to take the other end of the USB cable, and we're going to plug it into our streaming PC right over here. Boom. Nailed it. Of course, our capture card also needs a little bit of power, so make sure to plug it in. So now let's move on to the mixer board. Of course, it's our Q1202 USB, and we're just gonna turn it around here so I can show you the back of it. And there's not a whole lot going on here, really. It's just a USB input and power. So we're just gonna take the USB cable, plug it right in there, easy peasy. And of course, we take the other end of the USB cable, and sure enough, plug it into the streaming PC. This stuff is pretty simple, guys. I don't know what to say. Boom, done. So let's move back to the adapter here. We got the optical in, and now we have to get the RCA going into the 1/4 inch on the mixer board here, using these fantastic cables I showed you before. So now we just take the RCA end of these cables and we plug it into the adapter. Make note of which side, left or right, each cable is, of course, because it can be a little difficult. And then we're going to choose an input here, and we're going to do left, and we're going to do right. And now it's plugged into the mixer board. So now we have sound coming from our PlayStation 4 into the board itself. And if we come all the way down here, you'll see this is where we're going to adjust the volume of our game sound. Right here. Now we're going to grab our XLR cable here, and we're going to plug it into just any one of the inputs here. And we're going to take the other end, and we're going to plug it into, guess what? The microphone. So we're just going to do this and skip, and there we go. Look at this beautiful microphone all plugged in, ready to go. And of course, if you look here, just go all the way down right below where you plugged it in, and this is all the controls for the microphone and where you adjust the volume here, of course. All right, now we're going to plug in our headphones. Of course, your headphones have to be a 1/4-inch jack capable. And just bring it over here and see where it says phones. Plug that sucker right in there. And your headphone controls are right here, right beside the master fade. Right here. Now for the game monitor, we're just going to come behind, and the HDMI cable is already plugged into the one end. So now we're just going to grab the other end of the HDMI cable, right here, and we're actually going to plug that into our HDMI splitter, right here. So we'll just pick the other output, there's only one, just plug that in, and now we have video going to our monitor. And here we go, everything's plugged in, everything's turned on, OBS is on, and we have a working capture. And nothing seems particularly broken, so woohoo! Now in order to get sound out of our mixer board, what we have to do is go to the mic, go all the way over to the settings, click on that, go to properties, and we just have to make sure that instead of saying default, we just click on that and it says USB audio codec. Click on that, and we should be getting sound out of our mixer board. Let's see. Oh, we're getting a little bit, but maybe we just have to raise the... There we go. And turn that up a little bit. And now we should be getting some real good audio. There it is. Look at that. Those lights mean things are working. Now we are getting audio coming out of our PlayStation 4, as you can see there. And if you want to turn on the mic, just make sure you do your gain first. Just crank that up a little bit. Then down here, turn that up a little bit until, it sounds the way you want it to sound. Now you should be getting microphone audio as well. And here we go. This is it. Now there's going to be a few things you have to do still. You're still going to have to figure out the delay settings in OBS and all of that other stuff, but I leave that to you to fiddle with. And if you have any other questions, leave them down in the comments below, and I'll be happy to help anybody out with any different questions or anything like that, or send me a message on Twitter or anything like that. Anyway, peace out, guys. Have a good one. I really hope this helped you out, and follow me, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. Anyway, talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.